Hi everyone and welcome to Wednesday's Drama Hospital Recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Let's get right into it because it's already Friday morning. So at Anna's place, Nina has words for Anna. She apparently blames Lulu for everyone thinking Valentine is a monster, which, like, Lulu was not the root of this, but okay. And she says, he isn't a monster. And they just want to live in peace. And Anna says that her problems with Valentine have nothing to do with Nina. And, Nina's like, why are you so obsessed with him? And Anna's like, Valentine's obsessed with me. So she thinks Anna has an agenda, and she knows why, and she knows about the WSB Training Academy, and then says Anna made a scene at the restaurant at the Floating Rib, and that didn't look like a scene to me. She came over and she sat down and she said something. And Nina doesn't think the picture's a big deal. And she's sick of people, Nina is sick of people telling her what kind of man her husband is because, people that have known him longer and been in more situations with him obviously don't know him better than she does. And, like she's only seen, the good side of him because, I don't know, I can't. You know how I feel about this whole thing. And she sees the picture on the laptop of Valentine back in the day. So the attempted kiss from back in the day comes up. And Nina thinks Anna feels guilt, and she says she doesn't. And Nina stands up for who Valentine was and says Anna strung him along in the name of friendship. What does that even mean? Seriously, what does that even mean? And she calls Anna shallow and thoughtless and cruel. So just because Anna didn't have romantic feelings for him and just wanted to be friends, Anna's the bad guy here? I'm not understanding. And, and Nina also says that Valentine makes Anna uncomfortable because he sees Anna that, she's not so beautiful. And Anna's crying at this point, and I couldn't figure out if it was real or maybe, something she's doing there, but I do think it was real. And Anna, after Nina leaves, Anna's calmer now and opens the full file on Valentine. He had perfect grades, and then she gets an access denied thing when she clicks through to his assignments. At the Floating Rib, Valentine doesn't want to fight with Lulu, and Lulu doesn't want to fight either. And maybe they can just do this, just them, and talk about all this. Lulu says she deeply regrets upsetting Charlotte, but she had the best intentions at the time. And she saw how much Charlotte cares about him, and she may have been hasty with this whole sole custody thing. So she's offering to take him up on his joint custody deal, but on the condition that they all attend family therapy. And Charlotte needs to know that everyone, Dante, Lulu, Valentine, Nina, they all love her unconditionally. He declines, and now he doesn't even want to share custody, which from how I'm seeing it now makes him look like the unreasonable one, right? So now she would technically have the upper hand, maybe? I don't know. He says that her being Charlotte's mother is an accident of biology, which is kind of cruel, considering, how this whole thing came about. And Valentine calls her selfish, and she doesn't want to share custody. And then Nina comes in, and Lulu says the Spencers always win the fights with the Cassidines, which is true. Nina asks Valentine if he's okay and says she went to meet somebody. At the park, Nell hopes she has the strength to finish the job for you. And she has, the rattle that was Carly's, and Michael comes up to her. He's running from Tracy. I like his sweatshirt, by the way. And apparently his business decision isn't sitting well with Tracy and other people at ELQ, but he shaves the subject to her. Apparently today is the anniversary of her father's death, and he says he lost a father too. Her memories of her father are complicated, and then she points out Orion, and I point out Orion. Oh no, I'm Nell's father, So he knows some Greek mythology, and Orion was a pretty avid hunter, but her father probably didn't know all that. Orion apparently didn't have the best track record, and he apologizes for crossing a line, and he also says that he talked to his mom and knows that she's seeing someone. So Michael wants to back out of the conversation, but Nell persists. She says that she didn't say the guy she was seeing was married. He thinks maybe abusive, and she's like, no, he's older, and labeling their relationship as weird, and it's casual, more of an arrangement. But now, that's all she really wants right now, so it's fine. Michael offers to give her a ride to Sonny's to pick up the pictures that Bobby and Carly are putting together. At Sonny's place, Carly and Bobby come in. Sonny is being cuffed, and Carly asks what happened. Apparently, he's going to the hospital. He says his spinal cord injury is acting up, and she wants to go, but Sonny's like, later, and she knows something's up. So Carly and Bobby are making a family scrapbook and a family tree for Jocelyn, and Carly feels it was she was unfair to her mother at the time, Virginia, and she's conflicted about including the Bensons. Both one, Bobby wonders what it would have been like if she had raised Carly on her own, and they talk about how angry she was and how they both love the relationship they have now, but Bobby still doesn't trust now. And Nell and Michael arrive. She thanks him for not judging her relationship, and he says as long as she's happy, that's what matters. Michael sees a picture of Carly as a baby, and Frank Benson is holding her. And Nell is like kind of having a visceral reaction to that name. And Carly's talking about how Frank just left her in Virginia and all that. And Carly says she's made peace with her past, and Nell asked if she ever checked in with her adopted family to see what came of them. And I'm starting to think maybe like she's Frank Benson's daughter. Like that's my thought process right now. Carly says Frank was a stranger to her, but Virginia never gave up on her and died after Michael was born. And Nell is like skulking behind them on the couch, and I was like, okay, this is like really bad. So Nell looks at the picture of baby Carly in Frank's arms, and Bobby comes in and asks if she's okay. Nell yells at her to back off, but something seems familiar to Bobby, and she compares her to her cat Patches, and like Patches was fine, but if the kids in the neighborhood wanted to play, and like she'd attack when she was backed in a corner. So Nell is visibly upset and leaves. And she's like rushing out of there. She has like her scarf over her hair, which is the most uncomfortable thing in the world, personally. And Carly asks Bobby what she did. And Michael says that she's been talking a lot about her family lately. Now, and Michael thought, him and Nell could be more, but she's dating an older man. That whole thing. At General Hospital, Julian is there for his physical therapy appointment, and Sam. They're scheming. Sam makes a point of asking Julian what he did to Jason in the part of the hospital where the most people are. So like lots of noise here. I mean, like, lots of, people. So, Sonny's there talking with Griffin, and Sam and Julian are fighting, making a big deal about Jason, and Sonny asks Griffin if he can wait in Jason's room, and Griffin's like, yeah, okay, maybe, okay, with some convincing, and Sonny promises not to leave Jason's room. Sam and Sonny go to Jason's room, and Julian, like, kind of follows them. So Julian's listening to the conversation Jason and Sonny are having, and Jason says that there's no case and he's not investigating anymore. He's out, and Sonny's like, no, there's more to the case. And Jason says he doesn't want to be part of the organization. Sonny doesn't want to talk in front of Sam, and Jason's like, look, I have a family to think about, and Sam is like, I wouldn't ask you to leave, and Jason's like, no, we're chasing shadows anyway, things don't add up, I'm done. Sonny's like, I took you in, I gave you a life, and Jason's like, I have to think about myself now. So then a nurse, words got caught in my throat. A nurse tells Julian it's time for his appointment, and Sam checks outside the door. They're clear. Julian's gone. So the fake fight is over. That was just all the show for Julian, and they were pretty awesome. They're proud of themselves. And Sam says it's the only way to keep investigating under the radar. And now end scene. So Bobby wants more information, but Carly says no, it's not their business, about Nell and Michael. And when she leaves, she calls someone for a favor, find out everything about Nell Hayes. Michael realizes how lucky he is to have had Carly and Sonny in his life. Nell goes back to the park. She's thought about letting all this go, but can't. She made a promise to him, and Carly deserves everything that's coming to her for her world to crash down. I'm like, okay, this is really bad. Sonny leaves Jason's room. Griffin is looking at his x-rays, and Sonny's back is fine. It's better than anyone could have hoped. So, it's either psychosomatic, I know a word, or, well, Griffin said it, or Griffin has now been involved in something he didn't want to be involved in. And Sonny's like, don't worry about it. Julian calls Olivia, Sister Olivia, and says Jason's done. He's afraid. He's not investigating anymore. Sam looks forward to when this is all over. They could be a family. And Nina says that she told Anna to stop harassing her and Valentine. And she says she saw a picture of she's talking to Valentine. And she saw a picture of what Valentine looked like back in the day. And, he's affected by that. And, like, her opinion of him has changed. but in a good way. She says she's glad she saw Anna, but like not for the reasons he thinks. She's glad she saw the picture because now she really understands the strength and courage he has, and she admires him, and they're better than ever, seemingly. Anna calls the WSB for access to a restricted file, the one about Valentine, that she's the head of the U.S. branch East Coast division, and they tell her the file doesn't exist, and then the picture disappears, and the file disappears, and her whole computer just crashes. So, not good. Not good. So I'm like halfway through Thursday's episode, but I'll probably get that up tonight, and today's up Friday. I'm working on like 5 million videos right now, so I'll get them up as soon as humanly possible, but I will see you a little later for more General Hospital. Okay, bye.